the process of life is in a way to let go all these frequencies that do not belong to you, and they are not your core frequency.
Hello, and welcome to Holistic Ambition, where we talk with visionary leaders who are redefining what it means to be successful. We cover ways you can live with more well-being, meaning, and fun in your career, business, and relationships. I'm your host, Stephanie Thoma, career coach for ambitious professionals and author of Confident Introvert. Today, we have with us Cornelia Kawann Energy-on. She is an executive in the Swiss electricity regulator and the founder of Energy-on. As a personal energy strategist under the brand Energy-on, Cornelia empowers busy female execpreneurs to use their full energy and thrive in their career and business. As an electrical engineer, working with energy and frequencies in all its forms comes naturally to her, and she explains to her clients the world of quantum physics and shows them how to understand, measure, increase, and shift their energy. Managing their energy is the shortcut to reaching their goals. So we're just going to dive right in. How is managing your energy the shortcut to reaching your goals?
Oh, wow, that's a very cool question. And the thing is that it's so much easier to change something on your energy than actually do things or change your mindset. Because I don't know if you ever, I'm quite sure you did some mindset work or your audience. Yeah. And normally, you find out that you have like a limiting belief. And then what you do, then you kind of overwrite this limiting belief, right? And you find with a positive belief, maybe the contrast or something that supports you. And then you have to do that for 30 days minimum, and it can take even longer, and you're not allowed to forget it any day, because then you can have a fallback. And I found this very hard and long, so that's why I was looking for something that's faster and and helps me in that moment or works in that moment. And that's when I figured out, in a nutshell, from the quantum physics, it's everything is just energy and a frequency. So even my limiting belief, it's just a frequency. And if it's just a frequency and it's there, then you just can, erase the frequency, and then this limiting belief is gone. And so I started experimenting and working with my energy, and I found out that managing my energy and looking at everything from the perspective of energy and frequencies makes it so much easier to handle things.
Yeah. And, with your work as an electrical engineer and the quantum physics side of things, that brings a lot of science to an area of study and focus that some people think of as being less tangible and maybe a little bit spiritual, a little bit woo, when it's like, no, it's actually kind of rooted and grounded in scientific research. And when it comes to energy, something you talk about is, can you clarify, is it about having more energy? Because some people say, oh, I'm so exhausted, I don't have the energy. Or is it about switching or changing the energy that you already have?
Mm-hmm. Also for me, it's in a way, it can be, it's supposed to be both. Because whatever you need in that moment, because as you're saying, there are moments when you're having, you're low on energy, but you still want to finish something. And then you need something that gives you energy right away. And of course, you can go for a walk in the forest, or take a nap, or meditate. But most of the time, it takes longer. And sometimes you really need something in that moment. And all my things or my energy exercises, they're quick fixes. They don't take longer than 3 minutes, because it's for busy women. Because, if you think about women with all their obligations for their job, their business, their family, their kids, their spouse, their community, aging parents, they have so many things on their plate. So women definitely need more energy. So I designed a lot of exercises, especially for women, how they have energy right in that moment, how they can be more productive, more efficient, and even be more creative and see different solutions to a certain problem or a certain situation. And on the other side, it's also the shifting of the energy, because, we have a lot of, let's call it, baggage on frequencies and energies we are carrying around, like events that happen to us, even memories. It can be sad, or our limiting beliefs, stored emotions. And these are all frequencies, and it's also about removing these frequencies, and then your energy and your frequency shifts automatically. So personal energy management, it's not about overwriting. It's always about looking behind the scenes and find the actual cause of your limiting belief, of your problem, and then dissolve this cause or this root cause, and then the symptoms go away at the same time because they are linked.
Yeah. So, in the book, you share so many exercises, and, for people that don't enjoy writing down a lot, let's say in a book where there's a workbook attached, some people get excited by that, other people don't. What I thought was so refreshing about your book is that it's like, okay, stand up and we're going to do this energy exercise, that you lead us through. And, I'm going to mention a few of my favorites, and then assuming that whoever's listening to this, you're not driving, operating heavy machinery, then I'd like to invite for you at home to do this with us. But the 5 that stood out to me most, was taking your energy back at night before bed. And the second one was asking if something is good for me. The third was the womb chakra connection and clearing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then the third is clearing energy that isn't mine. And the 5th is about our food, and that scale. It begins with a B. Maybe you can tell us more about that to start with, and how to know if something is actually healthy for you to consume.
Oh, that's my most fabulous topic, in a way, because it's so connected to electric energy. And you mentioned it before, that like our personal energy is still a little bit woo, and people kind of suspicious, because you can't see it. But then I always, remind people, have you ever seen electric energy? And most people never, right? They haven't heard it. Yeah. But we all kind of experience the result of it, the power of it. And it's the same with our own energy. And there's so many similarities between electric energy and our personal energy. And I also described it in the book. Actually, we are kind of a walking battery, because there are all these millivolt volts on our cell membranes, and we all have these millicurrents running through our body. Like the communication between our brain and the organs and everything is all done by milliampere. So this is and when you have a current, you learn in physics, then there is an electromagnetic field around us. So if you believe in it with a battery or with an electric cable, there's an electromagnetic field around it, and we even protect ourselves from electromagnetic fields from our mobile. Why shouldn't there be an electric field around us? It's just the same, right? So it's pretty logic for me. And so in a way, coming back to your question, what I then researched, there's so much, there's a unit how you can measure electric energy, but why is there no unit for measuring our personal energy? So I did a lot of research, and then I actually found it. There is a unit, and this is the unit Bovis. It was discovered by Andre Bovis. And it gives kind of the life energy of food, and also of people, and also of places. And then I started measuring it, and Andre Bovis, he had really very cool concept, and actually it's so logic, because he said, okay, like a normal average person has minimum around 7,500 Bovis. And then he found out that, if you're eating something that has more Bovis than yourself, then it's just logic. It's giving you energy. On the other side, if you eat food that has less Bovis, less life energy, then it's taking energy from you. And it makes so much sense. And like with, so in a way, we are all unique and we are all special. So I don't follow this energy trend, not these food trends, because, you probably know Anthony Williams, and he says in his interviews that the two most powerful and healthy food are wild blackberries and freshly squeezed celery juice. So I bought a juicer and I thought, okay, let's drink every morning freshly squeezed celery juice. And I did. And then I found, after a while, I noticed every time I drank it, I got kind of a stomach ache. And then I tested it out, and then it was so obvious. Of course, celery juice is just not good for my body at that time. So it was actually taking energy from me. Even somebody told it's the most healthiest food in the world. So that's what the message is, in a way. What good is for a friend of you or somebody is telling you, it might be the best food for the person, but it might not be good for your body. And this is so important that you test out, is this good for me? And then you will feel the difference because it gives you energy.
Yeah, Bovis. So interesting, that there are ways to measure things that are not really broadly discussed. So, there were so many of those aha moments when I was reading your book that, and celery juice, how it doesn't impact everyone the same. I personally love celery juice. So when I read that, I was like, that checks out for me personally. But, maybe for you, you're like, doesn't have the same impact, So yeah, it's important for people to understand how different things that impact their specific energy, in different ways. And, if there were one energy exercise, I know I listed a few that are my favorites, that someone starting out could begin to implement daily. If they only did one, which one would you recommend? And then could you walk us through briefly how to do it?
Okay. Just before I do that, I just have one question. So did you test it out if celery juice is good for you?
I finished your book within the past week and I have not purchased celery juice within that time. So, but I can, but just my impression of how I feel, if I'm going based off of that, then I have a feeling that it would be positive for me, but we'll see. I'm open to being proven wrong.
No, but it's good for you. I just got the information from your energy.
Right? It's like if you feel a sense of vitality, yeah, there was usually in the summer months, there's nothing better to me than celery juice when it's really hot out, especially after a jog or something.
Yeah, I really enjoy drinking it. But maybe nothing is chiseled in stone. Things can always change. So I'm definitely gonna give it a new try, and because your health changes, your body, your energy changes. So, and what's good for you right now, maybe in like a year, isn't good for your body or needs something different, right? So it's very
allergies can pop up. That's always a possibility.
Okay, so you asked for a good starting energy exercise, and I think one of my favorite ones is the brain heart coherence exercise, and because I really love it when you're kind of busy in what you're doing, and it gives you more productivity and more creativity, and being your heart and your brain in coherence, and that's why I love it so much, is that like your brain and the system and all the processes connected to it, and all the processes connected to your heart, they are kind of working in harmony and in synchronicity, and meaning that all your processes in your whole body, they kind of following the same rhythm, and they're working with almost no loss of energy. And that's why I love it so much, because it's kind of a little bit like a perpetuum mobile. It's like the optimal way your body can work. And so if there is no loss of energy, it gives you so much more energy, it expands, and yeah, you're just working on your optimal level when your heart and your brain are in coherence.
So how could people do that? And this is actually something funny that I think I might bring up. When it comes to the heart-brain coherence exercise, I actually have in my notes to do that one specifically right underneath the list of 5 that I listed. So I feel like there's a really interesting connection here with the fact that there are like 60 of them in the book. You mentioned that one that I also have written right in front of me right now. So yeah, if you could walk us through the heart-brain coherence exercise. It is number 31 in the book, for anyone wondering. And what is
oh wow, thank you that you have in the number.
And the book, oh yeah, I don't believe your book was a part of the introduction. So can you tell us a little bit about the book, and then we're going to dive into just doing the exercise. Change your energy, change your life. So
yes, thank you for the chance to show it. Yes, actually, it's all about, as I said, the idea behind it, in a way, it's all about empowerment, because we are all energy beings, and we kind of forgot how it works to use your energy and to manage it. And that's what I'm showing, because I'm completely believing that it's so much easier when you manage your energy. And I think it's also about, my theory is that we are all born with our unique frequency. This is your very special frequency. And during life, like especially when you're a kid, because of your education, and you always want to be part of it, or you can't deal with certain situations, then kind of all these events and these frequencies are modulated on your core frequency, on your original frequency. So by the time when you're 18 or 20, then you have kind of this new frequency that resulted from your own and all the others, and you think that's you, but actually it's not. And I think the process of life is, in a way, to let go all these frequencies that do not belong to you, and they are not your core frequency. And I think it's also about, like, mindset work. It's all about becoming somebody else. And in my world, it's more about, no, you're right. You just need to, uncover all these things, and uncover your real you underneath all these layers of other frequencies. So it's all about removing and letting go these frequencies. That's what, in a way, that's the book is about. And and then the main process is, just to get started, is that you kind of are aware of your energy, that you know how to clean your energy. You clean your body. So it's also good that you clean your energy body, right, every day. And then you can kind of recharge your energy and protect your energy. This is kind of the little bit the basics of the managing of your energy. And it's kind of we are all unique. It's just a kickstarting toolkit, so to get you going. But the goal is that you develop your own processes and adjust them right to your needs. And because you're special, and you have maybe processes that are better, suits you better, and you can develop them from my basic energy exercises.
Yeah, so I think that's a great overview of the book. And if you could just lead us through a super brief, even a minute version of the heart-brain coherence,
Yes.
What would that be like?
Okay, so it's pretty simple. So you take your left hand and you put it on your heart. Then you take your right hand and you put it on your forehead. And in a way, then you just set the very strong. You can close your eyes. I think it's always easier you close my eyes, but you can do this also with open eyes. And then you just set a very strong intention that your heart and your brain get coherent. And for me, it's in my body, and now I'm standing, it tilts a little bit forwards. Then you inhale and exhale. And you just watch the process, what happens. And I can feel now that my energy is shifting and flowing in different directions. And then my body tilts backwards. And then I know that my brain and my heart are coherent.
So this is rooted in that beginning exercise in the book, of calibrating what your yes is, what your no is. It might be moving forward, to the left, to the right, to the back. So for those listening or watching, yeah, go ahead and do that exercise first. And it sounds like there's a great emphasis on intentionality and not necessarily even understanding how it works, but you know, I'm curious how that relates to the placebo effect, right? Because you know, there is a lot of research on how studies of pharmaceuticals, right? Where let's say that the placebo effect is someone takes the placebo or the actual drug and they're the same efficacy, where it's like, wait a second, the power of someone's mind, or maybe like their perception of this positive energy, you know, coming into their experience was enough to actually really help the ailment. So this is something that I think in earlier scientific research was a little bit pushed to the side, like, oh, okay, it didn't work, when really it's like, hold on, it did in a sense. So I'm curious from that perspective. Yeah, when it comes to setting the intention before bed, for example, especially for anyone who is restless at night and maybe not sleeping too well, being able to give back your energy and to take back your energy from, you know, give back energy that doesn't belong to you, take energy back that is yours. Can you let us know about the importance of doing that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think what you said before, right, that our mind always wants to understand why we are doing certain things, and to a certain degree, I completely agree with you. But I've learned during experimenting so much with my energy, I don't have to know everything, right? Because the only thing I care, and I think it's also the most things people care, they don't care about the way, right? They just want to have a certain result. And so for me, I just decided I don't need to know everything on the way. You know, as long as it brings me there, it's fine for me. And this can be also a kind of a shortcut. And what I realized, because some people, they really want to dive completely into certain situations to understand why they are feeling like now like this. But I figured out most of the time I don't even need to know why I'm feeling like this. It's just, this is the cause, and then I remove it. Because many things, you know, you take on as a kid, to you over exaggerate it because you can't deal with a certain situation or an emotion. And then even when you find out what was actually the cause of it, then most people think, oh, but you know, that's nothing. And then I was worrying all about this all the time, because yeah, there happens, something happened, but it's not really relevant, right? That's why you don't know many things you just don't need to know. But coming back to your question, sorry, I'm drifting off.
Oh, it's good to know.
It's about cleaning your energy before you go to bed, or even you're sending energy back and getting your energy back. You know, because in general, energy is neutral, and well, and there is always like the term negative energy or positive energy. But in a way, negative energy is still a kind of a neutral energy, but it's on the wrong place. So if as I said, we have like this energy body around us, and I don't know if you probably have experienced that really charismatic person entering a room. Then most people, they just turn around, because yeah, you can feel the energy, because the energy body is maybe like 10 meters around the body. And, you know, just imagine yours is 2 meters and you're kind of public transport, or somewhere in the supermarket, or even at work. You know, we all close together, and it's just natural that our energy mingles, and sometimes you can just pick something up that doesn't belong to you, energy from somebody else. And that's why it's so important in the evening that you send these energies that you accidentally picked up, or somebody picked up from you, that you send it back, and that you get your own energy back. Because yeah, if you have all this stuff that doesn't belong to you, it can bother you. And then I learned, you know, I have been sleepless nights for, let's say, many years. And so now the moment I started cleaning my energy before I go to bed, then this really changed my sleep, because all these things that do not belong to me, that were working on my energy because they didn't belong there, they were gone.
Yeah, and I think an important point that you bring up is the neutrality of energy, but there is energy that, in this physical form belongs to us, or that maybe got kind of mixed up through our many interactions and engagements throughout any given day, or even in our thoughts, right? So, you were recently speaking at the Davos conference in Switzerland, and we talked about this briefly before we got on air. And, something that you brought up that I would love to go into more depth about is AI and how AI relates to energy. And I'll keep it nice and open-ended for you to take that however you'd like.
I think what I experienced is many people kind of, maybe scared or skeptical against AI. And so that they will kind of take their jobs or make them redundant, and they take over. But I see it more as a tool we can use, right? And so, because what it's lacking with AI is it can only create something out of the data that you put into it, right? So it can't compose something completely new that have never been before, or it's like this creativity that human intelligence has, right? And that no AI has. And what I see is, like, even on you've probably noticed on social media, many pictures are made of AI, or on the blog posts, text, there's so much text out there, and it's just created from text that already existed, but just the new thing about it that you structure it in a different way. So there is nothing new in a way in it. And I think but you can also test it out. It has a lower energy, and I can feel it, that the energy is different. And I think because of this, that there, we are surrounded now by this AI all over the place. It's so important that when you have a team or you're in your business, that you show your personal energy, that people feel your energy. And I think this makes such a difference. And I call it also in this energetic leadership, that you're present, that you show your passion, what your mission, what you're standing for, so people can feel that and can follow you. And I think in this world of AI, this will be more and more important to really stand out.
Yeah, the energy of AI writing something for you versus you writing something that is, top of mind in your heart, all of the above. And when it comes to a common issue, let's say, that people have would be something like procrastinating. How can people utilize personal energy management to alleviate that specific issue and others like it?
That's a very good question. And my simple solution, what I've noticed also with my clients, is when you're having when you have low energy or little energy, then you kind of always in survival mode. And so this is one thing, that you're doing less things anyway, because your focus is in a way to survive, and you don't have that much energy to do things here that bring you further, or bring your business further, or stuff like this. And what I've noticed, when you have your so much more energy, then all of a sudden you see so many more opportunities. People approach you, people call you. Like for me, my goal was to speak at a panel in Davos, right? And like 3 days before the event, I didn't have a gig or something. Then somebody called me and asked, "Do you want to speak at our panel?" Right? And so all these opportunities, they show up because you have so much more energy. People can feel that, and you even have the energy then to execute it. So this is one of the biggest advantages of having more energy. And on the other side, the other thing that can keep you procrastinating is that there is a root cause for it. There is something you learned when you were a kid, or that happened to you, that you just, this is kind of an internal program you learned. This is your survive. That's the best way to survive. And if you remove this root cause, then the energy changes, and then you can approach all your goals from a completely different angle.
Yeah. So I think that those are such great points when it comes to, and you mentioned like calling in more energy. So is it possible, in addition to your own energy that's been displaced everywhere, there are certain realms of thought that state that your energy is not only this dimension, but in other dimensions? Are you only calling on your energy or other types of energy? So can you share more about if it's typically better to have more good energy? Where are we getting that from?
Oh, there are different ways. I think when it comes to energy, for me, there is the different layers of energy, and I also described it in the book. So there's this physical energy layer, and then you have the energetic one, the emotional energy, your mental energy, and your spiritual energy. And of course, when most people are working on their physical energy, because, sleeping, we spoke about it, eating organic, good food, exercising, really taking care of your body. But what I've learned, and I've seen it also in my environment, is that even if people are taking care of their body, they sometimes have health issue. So this I learned in a way there's more behind it. That's why I discovered all these other layers. But of course, for our well-being, our physical energy is the most fundamental one, because if we don't feel well, it's very difficult to do many things. But what I've also learned, if you look at your spiritual energy, and then most people say, "Ooh," but spiritual energy for me, it's more knowing what really makes your heart sing, what you really enjoy doing. What's your mission? What do you want to achieve here? What's your legacy? And if you find that, it's kind of your intrinsic energy generator. You have your power plant within, because when you're doing things, you really feel aligned. That gives you so much joy and fun, and you really and also can motivate many people. Then you're generating your energy automatically, right? So you can do it on your own. You can do it also, with other people. When you're out with friends and you're really having a good time, you can create more energy together, even in a meeting, right? So, and then of course you can always connect to Mother Earth and recharge with this energy from Mother Earth or from the quantum field, right? So especially when you look at kids, like when they are small, like they have so much energy. They practice like crawling or standing up. They can do that for hours, right? Because they have so much energy, and always feel that they are still connected with the quantum field. So they get the continuous like this download and are connected. So that's why they have all this energy for. And we just kind of forgot about these connections. But when you reopen and reconnect with the quantum field, for me, I really have to remind myself to take breaks, because there's so much energy and there's so many things I want to do, and because I get my energy continuously recharged. And I just experienced a life with a lot of energy. It's just so much more fun.
And that's what it's all about sometimes, in a world where a lot can be very serious, looking at it through that lens. It's about inviting an element of play and fun. And this comes back to your point of not necessarily needing to understand every little thing for it to be impactful in your life, and then impactful in the impact that you get to make. So as we begin to wrap up, I'm curious, how do you define ambition?
I think ambition is for me having all the energy to do the things I want to do.
And what does holistic ambition mean to you?
Oh, wow. And I think probably holistic ambition is like having the energy on all levels.
All those levels, okay. And how can people stay connected with you and learn more about you, including finding your book?
Oh, the book, as you said, it's Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. It's on Amazon and all bookstores. You can get it there. And otherwise, my homepage, it's corneliakawann.com. And of course, then with energy, Cornelia Energy-on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And I also have my own Energy-on show. And I'm really happy to invite you as a guest on my Energy-on show.
Ooh, I'd be happy to accept that. You heard it here first on Holistic Ambition. Awesome.
Yes, definitely. Ambition is so much energy. It gives you so much energy.
Yes. Well, thank you, for letting us know how to stay connected with you on social media and on your website, and to find your book, Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. Thank you for your time today, Cornelia. And I'd like to thank you at home for watching, listening, tuning in. Consider this your invitation to subscribe to be the very first to learn of the next speaker in our Holistic Ambition series. Wishing you a wonderfully energized day. Until next time.